I'm Tracy Baxter with today's Record Newswatch. We begin with a developing story. State Police and the Orange County District Attorney's Office have announced word of a major heroin bust. The 12 kilos of heroin was recovered from a van in the town of Wawayanda, leading to the arrest of two men, identified as Enrique Mendoza and Joaquin Hernandez. The heroin has a reported street value of $1 million. Now look for more details on the bust and the heroin haul here at Record Online and in tomorrow's Times-Herald Record. He was accused of killing his girlfriend and then setting fire to their Port Jervis home in order to cover up the crime. Today, an Orange County court jury convicted 39-year-old David Stevenson on the felony charges of second-degree murder and arson for the January 2013 death of 35-year-old Tyrochelle Houghton. The jury reached the guilty verdicts at around noon today during its third day of deliberations. Houghton was found dead of head trauma caused by blows from a hammer and a slashed throat after firefighters had responded to the Mountain Avenue home. During the trial, prosecutors said Stevenson killed Houghton because she was planning to leave him. Stevenson was also found guilty of an animal cruelty charge because the fire had claimed the life of a pet. His goal? To send the issue back to the drawing board for a new round of talks. On Wednesday, civil rights attorney Michael Sussman did what he had threatened to do last week when the Orange County Legislature voted to start the process of privatizing the county's Valley View nursing home. He filed a lawsuit in behalf of Valley View patients and staff that is intended to block the transfer of the county nursing home to a local development corporation that will seek potential buyers. Sussman says the suit contends that since privatizing Valley View would eliminate a county department, 14 votes should have been required. Legislators passed the transfer plan 12-9. During his news conference, Sussman lashed out at county officials and offered his own view of their motives.
It has nothing to do with finances. I'm enough of a lawyer to know it's a pretext. You can see a pretext a mile away. These are people who wanted to close that facility and privatize that facility and give it to somebody. Now we know who they wanted to give it to earlier. We all know who it was. People who had an interest in it and who had an interest in it and were running it to the ground so the county would sell it consonant with their interest. We know that the political party, the Republican political party, was deeply involved in it because Bill DeProspo, the head of the Republican Party, was going up to Essex County selling his services as a purveyor of privatizing nursing homes while he was doing the same thing in Orange County behind the scenes. So we know exactly the people who are involved and want to benefit from this financially.
Orange County Executive Steve Newhouse says the county must sell Valley View in order to close a budget gap that, if left to stand, would result in hundreds of layoffs or a massive tax hike. As for the lawsuit, Newhouse said the county attorney's office will vigorously defend against the challenge and looks forward to the court hearing the facts of the case. State police say no criminal charges have been filed against the driver of a car that struck a Cornwall police officer while he was directing traffic around a car fire last night. Officer Stephen Bedetti was standing in the middle of Route 32 near Quaker Avenue at the scene of a car fire when he was sideswiped by a car driven by 69-year-old Willie Davis of Highland Falls. He pulled over immediately to help the officer. Bedetti suffered a broken leg. Police say Davis had been unable to see Officer Bedetti standing in the road because of the thick smoke and flames from the fire. No criminal charges will be filed. He filed an insurance claim saying his pickup truck had sustained about $3,000 worth of transmission damage from Hurricane Irene. But state police say a 2-year-long investigation determined that the water damage done to Paul Albert's pickup had occurred before Irene blew through. Now the 52-year-old Ellenville man is facing a felony insurance fraud charge. Investigators concluded Albert fabricated his claim in order to receive the payout from his insurance company. If you haven't received your state tax refund yet, this might be a reason why. State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli says his office has stopped more than $24 million in questionable personal income tax refunds so far this year, and that his office has found more than 7,400 improper filings. That's up 18% from last year. The Comptroller's office audits state bills before payment, including personal income tax refunds. DiNapoli says tax cheats are continually coming up with new schemes to get money they aren't entitled to. He first popped up on police radar when police He first popped up on police radar when people came forward to say Ronald Grumberg had defrauded them out of large sums of money. A subsequent investigation determined that the former Saugerties resident was selling illegal weapons. Grumberg would later plead guilty to charges of grand larceny and criminal possession of a weapon. Now he's been sentenced to up to 6 years in prison, and he was also ordered to pay restitution totaling $200,000 to 7 victims. City of Newburgh police are continuing their investigation into the death of a Port Jervis man who was struck and killed by a CSX freight train Tuesday morning. 39-year-old Billy Ramos was pronounced dead at the scene. It happened near the former West Shore train station. Newburgh police say to this point they have no information as to why Ramos was standing on the tracks. And it's an idea that has caught on in many communities across the country. Now it's taking hold in Kingston. Hometown Heroes banners are going up around the city. They honor those from Kingston who have served in the military, past and present. Sponsors put up the funding for the creation of these personal tributes. Today, members of the Kingston Veterans Association were putting up banners featuring hometown heroes along Broadway. Among those involved today, Association Chairman Bill Forte, who was putting a banner up for his dad, and another one that honors his son's military service. It'll feel a little warmer out there by the weekend. As for tomorrow, it'll be mostly cloudy and continued cool, with the highs on Friday are only around 50 degrees. A bit better by Saturday, with temperatures reaching the upper 50s under a partly cloudy sky. You'll stay informed when you start your day with the Times-Herald Record, and you'll stay connected to breaking news throughout the day when you keep clicking here at Record Online. For Record Newswatch, I'm Tracy Baxter.